Maxine yells take to streets screaming for Trump's head, gets nasty surprise at door. Maxine Waters' psychotic breakdown started Sunday when she delivered a bizarre church sermon of hate and lies with calls to violence against President Donald Trump. She followed that up with an interview on CNBC Wednesday night where she demanded, Americans should be out in the streets screaming for Trump's head. Not only did President Trump react to Whacky Waters' calls to violence against him, Maxine got a nasty surprise at her front door. Don't miss this. Maxine Waters, the 79-year-old Congresswoman from South Central Los Angeles, broke out of obscurity onto the national stage with her loony calls to impeach 45. All of a sudden, Waters, who has held that congressional seat for over 30 years, became the new darling of the Democratic Party and started getting awards from the Hollywood crowd. What most people don't know is that Mad Max has a long and corrupt history as a politician. Judicial Watch reported, Maxine Waters has been embroiled in numerous controversies throughout her storied political career, including abusing her power to enrich family members, and getting a communist dictator to harbor a cop-murdering Black Panther fugitive. They add, her most corrupt acts as a federal legislator is steering millions of federal bailout dollars to her husband's failing bank, One United. Waters allocated $12 million to the Massachusetts bank in which she and her board member husband held shares. Waters, who represents some of Los Angeles' poorest inner-city neighborhoods, has also helped family members make more than $1 million through business ventures with companies and causes that she has helped, according to her hometown newspaper. While she and her relatives get richer, she lives in a $4.5 million Los Angeles mansion. Her constituents get poorer. Long before she was called anti-Maxine by the dingy Trump haters who adopted Waters as their new poster politician for the resistance, she was dubbed poverty pimp by her own constituents. Most Americans just became acquainted with Whacky Waters in the last 2 years. And in those 2 years, she has been at best a punchline for Trump supporters. But her behavior over the last week has crossed the line from a laughable punchline to violent and psychotic. It seems Maxine Waters has lost her grip on reality. On Sunday, she addressed the AIM Church in Los Angeles where she told the congregants, I'm like the prophet sent to get the evil Donald Trump. Her rambling, disjointed 14-minute sermon was what psychiatric professionals call a flight of ideas, going from one topic to the next which are only loosely connected. For example, Waters' theme was Trump, but she tied him to slavery. Then, she told the audience their own kids were at risk of being taken from them. They would take away the little boys and girls away from their parents because they wanted to keep them as theirs, sick, growing up on the plantation. The parents never saw the children again. And so there are those who tell us, why are we worried what happened during slavery and we know it can happen again. Now, Mad Max shows up at CNBC on Wednesday and continues her violent psychotic behavior. The Washington Examiner reported on her interview in the article titled, Maxine Waters, Americans should be out in the streets screaming for Trump's head. Talking on CNBC, Waters said, I think he's, Trump, dangerous, and added, I don't know why people take it. I think Americans should be out in the streets screaming for Trump's head, to the top of their voice. Do something. Make something happen. Maxine Waters is telling Americans that President Trump is dangerous, and when she says dangerous, she follows that up with demanding calls to violence out in the streets to do something and make something happen. That sure sounds like inciting riots against the sitting President of the United States. Somewhere along the line, Whacky Waters started to believe her own rhetoric and blurred the lines of reality. She forgot she was just playing a part, and now she has gone full-on Che Guevara. She really is out of her mind, and it's scary. The president reacted last month to her increased call to violence, tweeting, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, an extraordinarily low IQ person, has become, together with Nancy Pelosi, the face of the Democrat Party. She has just called for harm to supporters, of which there are many, of the Make America Great Again movement. Be careful what you wish for, Max. But that's not all. Trump has probably been advised to not engage Waters now that she has gone off the deep end, for real. After the Sunday sermon and now this CNBC interview, We are hearing reports the Secret Service has been dispatched to Waters' door over her inciting violence. That is their protocol for threats of this nature. Former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino reported on Waters' decapitation reference to President Trump, and he alluded her behavior was like the French Revolution where mob violence reigned and mass executions happened using the guillotine. Where are Maxine Waters' handlers or staffers? This is a woman pushing 80 years old, and she should be made to resign at once. Mad Max's radical words can spur on crazies all over the country to act out against the president or Trump supporters, and we have all seen this sad end to this movie. Every American has a duty to call for her resignation. If left up to the Democrats, they won't do a thing. Auntie Maxine is no